Hello, students of class 7. I have come up with a new lesson, Unit 1, Section 2, A Story of Courage. Here, first, we will have to discuss something, discuss occasions when you had to adjust to a new environment. You are in a new place, in new environment, and you have to adjust yourself to that new situations or face challenging or unfamiliar situations. How did you overcome your fears and deal with the situation? Now it's a question when you were in a new situation, new environment, how you faced it, how you adjusted yourself to that, and how you had overcome the challenges. Now let's read a story related to this challenges that we face due to the change of environment. Let's read the story about how a young boy who travels to a new and strange country has to come to terms with his fears and anxieties. This is the lesson is all about. Now Harjit Singh sat on the bench by the carousel. Carousel is its meaning is given the moving belt at an airport on which one's luggage is transported from the aircraft. So, carousel is that very thing that you will find in the airport, waiting for his suitcase to arrive. Now, Harjit was sitting on a bench by the carousel, waiting for his suitcase to arrive. He was tired and cold and wasn't used to this weather. He was tired, he was feeling cold, and he wasn't very much used to this type of weather. In Amritsar, where he came from in India, he came from which place? From Amritsar. So it was 37 degrees. There, the temperature is 37 degrees from where he came. And in Paris, it was just 14 degrees. In Paris, the temperature was what? Just 14 degrees. Now you can see the difference. 37 in Amritsar and only 14 in Paris. His father called out to him, "Hurry up, Harji. The driver cannot wait much longer just for you." Then his father was calling him to do things faster because the what it is driver of the taxi could not wait much longer for him. Harjit was a little upset. He had not wanted to come to Paris. Why he was upset? He did not want to come to Paris. He wanted to stay in India with his friends. He loved his friends and wanted to be with them. But because his father had received a job offer in France, they had to leave India and make a new start. Now, why they had to come to Paris? Because his father had received a job offer in France and they had to leave India and make a new start. All new start they will have to do. Now, still waiting by the carousel for his luggage, Harjit looked curiously at the crowd of people surrounding him. There was a crowd of people surrounding him, and Harjit started looking at them. Harjit suddenly felt like he was being stared at. Harjit felt as if someone was staring at him, looking at him closely. He looked around and saw a boy who must have been 10 years old. Now he looked around and found a boy who was about 10 years old, the same age as Harjit. He was the same age of Harjit. Harjit was also 10 years. The boy was staring at his turban, which upset him and made him feel self conscious. No, the boy was staring, looking closely at his turban that he was wearing, which upset and made him feel self conscious. Angrily, Harjit stepped up to the carousel and saw a bag that looked similar to his own. Now he went angrily to the carousel and saw a bag similar to his own. He snatched the bag even though he wasn't entirely sure it was his. Then he I'm repeating again. Then he looked around and saw a boy of his age, 10 years, and that boy was staring at his turban, which upset him and made him feel self conscious. Angrily, Harjit stepped up to the carousel. He went up to the carousel and saw a bag that looked similar to his own, and a bag that looked similar to his own. He snatched the bag even though he wasn't entirely sure it was his. Even though he was not sure that whether the bag was his or not, he snatched it and hurriedly left the place. Now I am turning the page and moving into the next page. So here it is, the next page. All he knew was that he wanted to get out of the airport and away from inquisitive eyes. Inquisitive eyes, that means questioning eyes. He was looked at with questioning eyes, so he wanted to be away from those questioning eyes. As they drove to their new apartment, Harjit glared out of the car window and took note of how different everything looked compared to back home. Then, when he was going to his room, then he looked how different everything looked there in that city compared to back home. It was cleaner. The place was cleaner. There were clusters of very beautiful big buildings, very beautiful big buildings. A cluster of them was there with gold paint on them and statues on top. The sky was very grey and the ground was wet with rain. He saw lots of people sitting outside of shops drinking coffee and talking. Now here, so many differences or comparison between his hometown, Amritsar, and that city, Paris, has been forwarded by the writer here. So you will have to go through it, and I have given you some questions you will be getting after this. So before that, I will be concluding my class at this point today. So tomorrow from here we will start reading, and the questions I am giving you, for that you will have to wait a little. So you will get, if you don't have the book, these pages for actually photocopy of these pages will be provided to you. So you will go through it and try to understand what I have to, and the questions try to solve. I am giving the questions now. So it's 12/5/2020, Alternative English, Class 7, Section 2, A Story of Courage. Short answer that question. Why was Harjit upset? I have already told in the lesson. You will find it there also. So I hope you can answer this question. The second question is, what differences did Harjit notice in the new city compared to his hometown? Now his hometown is Amritsar. What differences he could notice there in the new city? Okay, I hope you can answer these two questions very easily. And tomorrow we will meet again. Till that time, goodbye, and thank you all.